Hi, thanks for joining me for this relaxing practice right before settling in for the evening. We'll be doing some gentle yet unique stretches, as well as just taking some time to quiet the chatter in the mind that tends to build throughout the day. Hopefully this will help you to unwind and maybe sleep a little better tonight. You don't need any props except maybe a cushion, and just put something nice and cozy on, and let's go ahead and get started. Find a comfortable seated position. You can always prop the hips up on a cushion. Palms facing up or down, whatever feels good. Starting with some nice slow neck rolls, just dropping ear to shoulder, chin to chest. Other side, ear to shoulder. Releasing any tension that you still might be carrying through the neck. And come back to center. Reach the arms up overhead, interlace, and press the palms toward the ceiling. Some side body stretches, side to side, just gently moving into that stretch. Anchoring the hips into the ground, spine lightly lifting, arms back down at your sides. Nice shoulder roll. Extend the arms out to the sides, crossing left over right as high as you can. Make another cross if you can. Lift the elbows forward and up, away from the chest, drawing the shoulders down from the ears for your eagle arms. Nice deep stretch into the shoulder blades. Release the arms and reach out, crossing right over left, making another cross if possible. Elbows forward and up. So feeling that deep stretch in the shoulder blades, breathing into the back of the lungs. And go ahead and release the arms. Shake out the legs, bringing the soles of the feet together for butterfly pose. Lifting through the spine, extending the chest forward, and then flipping the palms to face up, thread them underneath the lower legs. Finding a place to hang your head, taking this as deep as you would like, softening the lower spine, breathing into the pose. Just enjoy this time that you carved out for yourself. Start unthreading the arms, come back to center. Butterfly pose, extending the left leg out and drawing the right sole of the foot inside the left leg. Left palm up, reaching the right arm up overhead. Big side body stretch to the left. Opening up that right side of the rib cage. Now fold over the left leg, letting the head hang, softening the neck and the shoulders. Gazing toward the left knee, and then slowly rounding up. Reach the right fingertips behind you, left palm up, reaching up. Take some weight off the left hip or lift the left hip entirely. Opening up that whole left side of the body, release down, swing the left leg forward, and then cross right foot over the left leg. You can draw the lower left leg in tight to the body if you'd like. Reaching the left arm to hug the right knee, right arm behind your spine, lifting and lengthening, and a nice big rotation to the right. Try to keep the right wrist very close to the spine. Releasing the neck, come back to center, unravel, shake it out. Return back to butterfly, this time extending the right leg. Left foot comes inside the thigh. Right palm up, reach the left arm up overhead. Big side body stretch. Fold over the right leg, gazing toward the right knee. You can keep the right knee soft. Softening through the spine. Slowly rounding up, now this time reaching the left fingertips back, right palm up, reach the right arm, take some weight off the right hip or lift it entirely. whatever feels good. Release the hips back down, swing the legs forward, crossing left over right, and if you choose, bringing that lower right leg in close to the body. That's just an option. Hugging the left leg, left arm behind the back, and a big rotation to your left, gazing over the left shoulder. Try to stay nice and lifted and lengthened through the spine. And slowly return back. Unravel. And little windshield wipers with the knees, dropping one knee in at a time. Now coming on to all fours. Cat-cow pose. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the hips, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine, hanging the head and tucking the tailbone. And let's repeat that. Inhale to cow. Exhale, cat stretch. And then come back to a flat back tabletop. Extending the right leg straight back. Lift of the right leg, and then tuck the right knee under the body, settling the right foot toward the top of the mat. Staying lifted through the chest, keeping the left hand on the mat, and rotate open to your right. Bringing the right arm back down, going for a little extra stretch in the front of the left hip, left thigh. Place a little bend in the left knee. Possibly reach back with that left arm. Maybe you can grab a hold of the inside of the foot or the toes. Lifting the chest. This is just an option. Releasing the lower left leg back down and pushing the right hip back, extending into the right leg. Foot can either be pointed or flexed. It's folding over the right leg, gazing at the knee. Now walk the hands off to your left, away from the right leg. Start reaching the arms out at a diagonal to the side of your mat, pressing the hips back in one direction as the hands are clawing into the floor in the opposite direction, finding that length in the body. And then walking back up, returning back to a lunge in the right knee. Lifting arms up overhead, grabbing the left wrist, side body bend to the right. Getting a nice deep stretch down the front of the left hip. Return the hands to frame the foot. Return to tabletop, flexing the feet, lifting to downward facing dog. Pedal out through the legs, alternating heels toward the mat. Totally fine to keep the knees bent here. Don't worry about the heels trying to reach the mat. Lower back down to tabletop, tops of the feet on the mat, pushing back into child's pose. So taking a moment to find your breath, settling into the pose, allowing the hips to melt back toward the heels. Now coming on to your belly, propping up onto the elbows for a spinal extension into our Sphinx pose. Option is to double stack the fist and just rest the chin on top of that. Otherwise, forearms pressing into the mat, palms pressing down, legs falling open, nice and relaxed, soften through the lower back and the hips. Chin is just slightly dropped to release some tension in the neck. Pressing shoulders away from the ears, or entirely lifting the elbows off the mat for seal pose. Placing our spine in quite the opposite position that we ask of it throughout our day. Return back down, crossing the arms, rest the head, bring the legs back in, bending the knees. Do a little windshield wiper with the lower legs. This gives the thighs a nice little massage. Now bringing the legs further apart, about the width of the mat, bending the knees and dropping one lower leg in at a time for another version of windshield wipers. Creating that inward rotation through the hips. Releasing the lower legs back to the mat. Draw the legs inward, pressing back up to a tabletop. Bringing the knees slightly open, rounding the spine and pressing the hips back toward the heels once again for your child's pose. Melting the hips toward the heels, reaching the arms forward. Lifting the heel of the hands, clawing the fingers into the mat as we pull the shoulder blades away from the fingertips, lengthening the spine even further. Pressing back up and turning to the opposite side as we repeat this all on the left side. Cat-cow stretch, arching and rounding, lifting the hips, the chest, tucking the tailbone and the head, coming back to flat back tabletop, this time extending the left leg back, lifting the left leg, bend the left knee, tucking the leg under the body, settle the left foot toward the top of the mat. Keeping the right hand on the mat, opening up the left arm to the left side. Bring the left arm down. And extra thigh stretch, bending the right knee. This is optional, or reaching back with that right arm, possibly reaching the inside or the outside of the right foot, or grabbing the big toe with the 2-finger toe grip. Releasing the leg if you had it, and pressing the right hip back, extending through the left leg, left foot pointed or flexed, bringing the nose toward the left knee, however close you can get it. Walking the left arm off to the right for the diagonal reach, reaching the hands away from the right hip. Easing out of the pose, bringing the left hand to the outside of the left leg and dropping back into the lunge. Reaching both arms up overhead, left hand grabs right wrist, bending to the left for a side body stretch. Framing the foot, swing the leg back around, coming back to tabletop and lifting to down dog. Pedaling out through the feet, allowing the heels to go where they go. Coming back to tabletop, open the knees, rounding the back and press the hips back for child's pose once more. Easing out of your child's pose, coming up to a kneeling upright position. Extending the left leg out to the side. Reaching right arm up overhead, big bend to the left, side body stretch. Begin walking the hands forward into a tabletop pose with the left leg extended away from the midline of the body. Flip the right palm and thread the right arm under the chest, resting the right ear, shoulder, cheek on the floor, pressing the left hand into the floor. You can always reach and maybe grab the toe or the foot. Option to reach the right arm up behind the back, settling the back of the right hand against the lower back, or maybe grabbing the right thigh, opening up the right side of the chest, returning the left hand back to the mat, unthreading that right arm, coming back to kneeling upright position. So we can try that once more on the opposite side. Right leg away from the midline. left arm reaches up, big side body bend. Decompressing the spine, opening up that left side of the rib cage. And then walking the hands forward for tabletop with the right leg extended out. Flipping the left palm up, threading the left arm under the chest, settling the left ear, shoulder, cheek on the mat, maybe grabbing a hold of the right foot or toes. Pressing the right palm into the ground or reaching the right arm up, palm flipped, and resting the back of the right hand against the lower left spine. Opening the chest, nice big stretch in the left shoulder blade, return the right hand back to the floor, unthreading the left arm, swing the leg around, coming back to kneeling. Lastly, you will want to have some clear wall space available for legs up the wall pose. Maybe a cushion handy, bringing the hips as close to the wall as possible as the legs extend up against the wall, lying flat on your backside. Feel free to place a small cushion under the low back, propping the hips up. Allow the legs to fall open, feet propped outward. Arms can rest to your sides with palms facing up, or you can choose to reach the arms back over the head, gently grabbing opposite elbows for a more intense stretch through the chest. This pose generally feels good to most people. It's one of the most gentle inversions with a host of benefits to the pose. This pose promotes circulation and lymph flow. It can provide some relief from a tight back or swollen feet and can help improve our sleep. As you relax in your pose, give yourself permission to leave the burdens and the stresses of the day behind so that you can start fresh and renewed tomorrow. Allowing yourself to release today. Feel free to stay in this position for as long as you'd like. This is where I will be leaving you. So I hope you feel soothed and relaxed and ready for a wonderful night's sleep. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me this evening. Please subscribe to my channel. It's free to subscribe, and it helps support free yoga to be available to everyone.